All right, and we're live on day 3 of the Self-Love Challenge and Livemasters. I'm super excited today. We have an amazing guest speaker, Lee Piper Smith. She's from Reno, Nevada, and she is world class. I was just telling her, I'm putting her out there. She is world class. She's going to share today on self-discipline. If this is your first time catching one of these videos in this series of self-love in the Self-Love Challenge, again, this is day 3. My name is Mike Chavez. I'm your live master. And the first day we talked about self-image, and we had the amazing Lenora Collins come in and do an awesome presentation. And day 2, we had Gene Collins, no relation, come in and do a presentation on self-talk. So I'm really excited today to have, again, Lee Piper Smith. She's going to talk about self-discipline. And so start getting your fingers ready to let your friends know that we're here live, because the last few days we've had massive value and people have seen some pretty cool stuff going on and some cool takeaways. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to have some takeaways. Lee is going to go ahead and go through her presentation a little bit here. Make sure you put your questions in the comments, because I already told her that if you put some incredible questions down in the comments, we're going to interject her throughout her presentation so we can get more interaction with her and really dig deep in what it is that she's talking about when it comes to self-discipline. So listen, I met Lee, I think, oh man, it's been almost a couple of years. We've been connecting here online through this incredible platform, Facebook Live. And recently she finished a few of our video challenges in Livemasters. She actually crushed them. I've already interviewed her, and if you had seen her before on one of our previous interviews, she's absolutely amazing. So I'm excited to have her back again. Without further ado, I'm going to turn it over to the incredible Lee Piper Smith in Reno, Nevada. Lee, take it away.
Hey, Mike, thank you so much, and welcome everybody to day 3 of the Self-Love Challenge. It is such an honor for me to be here with you and to share with you. And I just want to give you a blip on who I am. I am the productivity architect with Upcycle Coaching. I don't know if you can see this. This is my candy method that I've put together, and discipline is right there in the middle of my method. So candy is just a quick acronym for clarity, affirmation, necessity, discipline, uniqueness, that I spell Y-O-U, because you have 3 G's inside of you. You have gifts, you have genius, you have greatness. And it is my job to help guide you inside, create that inner transformation so that you can see all of those amazing G's inside of you. So diving right into discipline, I want you to think about your goals and your dreams. And when you take a moment to think about them, how will you get them accomplished? You may think, oh, I need to feel motivated and I need to have clarity around what I want. That's true, but what's really going to get you there is discipline. Now, when we think of discipline, what does that make you feel? Does it feel like somebody's cracking a whip over you and forcing you in a box or down a lane, and you are so limited by these boundaries that you can't feel any freedom? I want to share with you that as a parent, and if many of you are here parents, you'll relate to this. If we don't put the boundaries and we don't put that discipline, our children really can't experience true freedom, right? And when we think about the rules and laws in our society, that's a form of discipline that's supposed to create more freedom in our daily lives here too, especially here in the States. So now, when it comes to self-discipline, what does that mean? Because self-discipline is a little bit different. It means knowing ourselves first, and knowing ourselves and accepting ourselves right where we are, loving who we are, and dreaming up who is it that we want to become. Then the discipline is putting in the boundaries of what do we say yes to and what do we say no to, so that we can fulfill that dream. Because the real thing that happens here is that in mastering self-discipline, we get to experience incredible freedom like never before. And we get to feel fully alive and not be dampened down by society or other people's expectations or anything like that. It's something that we create for ourselves. So the secret to self-discipline is knowing ourselves. Do you know yourself? Are you still looking in the mirror? I've been doing this for years. Look at yourself in the mirror. Can you say, I love you with a smile on your face? That can be a self-discipline act in and of itself, because if you've never done it before, at first, it feels weird. It's like, whoa. But when you really genuinely look at yourself and you can love yourself right there where you are, even if you've got to change some things, it's going to make a massive difference saying hello. So I want to begin self-discipline with mindset. I am a mindset and productivity coach. So we've got to start first things first. And we're going to do that with the mindset. And hopefully I can do this correctly. What I want you to do, if you have a piece of paper, is put 2 categories at the top. I want you to draw a line down the middle. And in the one category, I want you to write reactor. And in the second category, I want you to write creator. And in those 2 columns, you'll see those 2 words, they're anagrams, which means they have the exact same letters. They're just arranged in a different order. And the way I like to put it is, the difference is, how do you see yourself? Do you see yourself as a reactor? You feel like you're putting out fires after fire after fire. There's expectations, there's demands, there's the shoulds. I should be doing this, I should be doing that. Your to-do list. You've got little ones tugging at you. Maybe it's fur babies nipping at your ankles. You've got your spouse or friends or other people wanting your attention. If you happen to be in an office, you got people coming in and disrupting. So there's all kinds of things, or problems just happen and they pop up. And so you feel like you're putting out fire after fire. You might feel stressed. You might feel overwhelmed. Maybe you are getting some things done, but I venture to guess that even though I don't know you, if you're a reactor, at the end of the day, you're feeling stressed and tired. And so you see yourself bombarded like these other letters. But what if I challenged you to see yourself first and you become the creator? So you design the day on your terms. Do it the way that you want to live it out, which means you set the priorities, you set the boundaries, you set the limits, you set that discipline. You become the creator of the day that you desire. And that's where we've got to begin with self-discipline. Are you a reactor where you see yourself bombarded? Or are you a creator where you take ownership and you take command of your day, of your moment, of your mood, of your attitude, of that mindset? And when you are the creator and you take that command, you take that ownership of that power, you don't give it to someone else or anything else. And when you control that, self-discipline just naturally follows. And so what about those days when you don't feel motivated? How can self-discipline help you there? Well, I like to say discipline is a muscle. And when you're not feeling motivated, it's an opportunity to flex that discipline muscle. So when you're having a task and it's weighing on you, you find yourself procrastinating, I like to challenge myself and go, am I procrastinating because I'm afraid? Or am I procrastinating because I don't see any joy in this task? I only know the joy in the end result, but in the doing itself, it's dreadful. And now I don't feel motivated. That's when I have to take myself back and say, I want to be the creator of the life that I want to live. And in order to make that happen, I need to do this task. So whether I feel motivated or not, I'm not motivated. This is an awesome opportunity to flex the discipline muscle. Because the true meaning of self-discipline is to deny the lesser to gain the greater. And denying that lesser means I am not going to stay settled in this life that I have right now. Maybe it's good. Maybe it's good, but I don't want the good life. If you want the good life, I want you to write good in the comments. But if you want the great life, do you hear me? The great life. Mike, do you want the good life or the great life?
I want the great life.
Awesome. I want the great life too.
I love that. I just put in the comments there, deny less to gain greatness. That's beautiful.
Yes, to gain the greater. And we think of discipline with willpower and, well, basically with willpower. Let's just keep it at that. We're thinking, oh my gosh, self-discipline means if I'm on a diet, I can't have that chocolate cake. I don't mean denying the chocolate cake to gain greater health. It means I don't want to stay in this place here where maybe in the instantaneous moment, I'm enjoying that chocolate cake. I want to have the greater long-term, higher energy, clearer brain, enjoying my life vitality, health. That means that's where I'm denying the chocolate cake and accepting this greater life for myself. So if you want the great life, I want you to write great in the comments. I want to see that blowing up with great. Let's not settle for the good. Let's step out for the great. And it takes self-discipline to make that happen. So self-discipline, really, it's the ability to get yourself to take action regardless of how you feel, regardless of your emotional state. See, I heard a motivational speaker put it this way, and it's just stuck with me. At the end of feelings is nothing. But at the end of principles, meaning we take action, we exercise that discipline muscle, we exercise our self-discipline, there is a promise. When we take action, we get results. Now, sometimes the results may surprise us. Other times, it's the results that we truly desire. And self-discipline, when we get super clear on what we want, we align with that truth and we align with that desire. And when we have that creator mindset, and then like Jean talked to us yesterday, when we talk to ourselves with that positivity, I am a creator. I am going to use my superpower of choice to choose to use my self-discipline. I'm going to flex that muscle and I'm going to do what I need to do instead of holding back in procrastination, holding back in fear, holding back in the excuses. Because where does that leave us? It leaves us in a place that's lesser. It's not where we want to be. Deny the lesser, put those excuses aside, and step out into your greatness. So what are some areas where you can use this in your life? You can use this in your morning routine. If you have a morning routine, throw me down a huge capital M, morning routine. Now for me, I am not the most morning person, but I do have a morning routine. And for me, it's about how I wake up. Not so much, oh, I have to be part of the 5 a.m. club. If you're part of the 5 a.m. club and you love it, fantastic. I'm not knocking it. I'm just saying that's not for this girl. But I will say how I wake up is so crucial to how I set the tone, the pace, the intentions, my self-discipline for the rest of the day. So do you have a morning routine? If you don't have a morning routine, there's an opportunity to exercise some self-discipline. How about energy management? See, many of us think we have a problem with time management. It's about clarity and energy management. And by energy management, your emotional state. How are you feeling? Tony Robbins likes to call it, what's your peak state? When you get into your peak state, you're managing your energy and you're ready to take action and make things happen. And so looking at your energy management, that's a great way to utilize your self-discipline. If you're not feeling great throughout your day, it's okay to have a bad day once in a while. And I will tell you, I've had some major roadblocks the past couple of weeks that have hit me emotionally, that did hit my energy. And I had to give myself grace and permission to pause and step away from my work for a moment and deal with those emotions. And that was my way of managing the energy so that I can come back and serve in those places and opportunities where I need to serve. So in the daily, day by day living with our energy management, how are you waking up in the morning? Are you waking up with sludge? Oh, it's another day, another dollar. No, I want you to wake up with something that you can be excited about. I challenge myself in the shower. Maybe it's not the first thing that happens when I open up my eyes, because generally when I open up my eyes, I'm taking in a sense of gratitude. Oh, it's another day. I'm still here. This is an opportunity to, and whatever comes my way. And then I'm like, oh, I'm so grateful for that. And then when I'm in the shower, this is really where I dive my self-discipline and my self-talk. I ask myself, what is one thing I can get excited about today? You know what it is for me today, right? Being right here with you right now, sharing this greatness. So what is one thing I can get excited about? Maybe it's somebody coming to town, or you're going to have a coffee date or a walking date with someone. Maybe it's you actually get to travel somewhere and do something, or a special time with a special someone, or there's a task and you're like, I get to get this done today. It's been my project for so many months and I get to check that off and complete that. Or maybe you've got a favorite food you're going to eat. I get to have this for dinner. It's one thing you can get excited about. And I know I'm exaggerating a moment here. I don't exactly bust out with all this energy in the shower, but I do raise my energy a little bit while I'm in the shower. What can I get excited about today? What is one thing? And that allows me to just live more fully throughout the day. Another place is the evening routine. And I will admit, this is one that I'm currently working on. It's a daily work in progress. My morning routine, I've got that nailed. My evening routine, knowing how sleep is important, how 8 hours of sleep is important for me to be productive, for me to be at my best. That's where I'm working on my self-discipline, because I'm such a night owl. And it seems at times at 9 o'clock, I just get in this second awakening up, and I'm like, no, I'm supposed to be simmering down and getting ready for bed. So maybe looking at your evening routine, are you shutting the screens down? Are you taking a moment to reflect on the day? What went right today? What can I do again tomorrow to make another thing go right? You know, who brought joy into my life today? Who did I bring joy to today? What is something that I accomplished? And it could be the smallest thing, because we got to celebrate those little victories. Those celebrating those little victories, again, allowing us to love ourselves right where we are, knowing that we are a winner no matter what. It's like, oh, that's another great place for self-discipline, looking at the evening routine. And then relationships. Are you living your best relationships? I want to share that right now, COVID, it's been almost a year that we've been in shutdown in some form or fashion, right? We're not completely open. There's been some flexibility, sure, but I have been working out of my home and not networking. I'm a master connector up here in Reno. I I'm kind of a high profile person here, and I work with business owners, and I run my own mastermind and all that connecting. And I've had to completely shut that down, meeting with people, because I have to protect my husband. My husband has compromised health, and I can't take that risk. And the biggest risk I take really is going to the grocery store. And so having so much shut in, it means I get an opportunity to work on my relationship with my husband. And my daughter has moved out, and then I have a son who's across the country too, and then my uncle has moved in with us, and he's my favorite uncle. So don't feel sorry for me, because this is an opportunity that I absolutely love, just getting time with him. He's a 5-time cancer survivor, and so getting this opportunity to hear his stories and his life lessons, he's such a major influence in my life. So grateful for that. So looking at those relationships, how am I showing up? Even in the limited amount of relationships that I interact in, am I being my best self? If they do something that doesn't meet my expectation, or, oh, they do something that's disappointing, or sometimes humans being human and we hurt one another, right? How am I choosing to show up in that moment? Managing my mood in that moment. When my husband's not having the best day at work and he comes home and maybe he's having a grumpy moment, knowing that it's not about me, it's where he's at in his body, in his moment in his life. That's where I can choose to use self-discipline on my mood, because I've got choices, don't I? I can react and I can snap right back at him. I can take that little grumpy moment and I can blow it up into an all-night fight. Or I can just, all right, you know what? I'm going to give him some space. Hey, honey, it seems you're a little grumpy. I'm going to let you just ride that wave, because this too shall pass, right? I'm going to let you ride that wave. And when you're ready, I'm right here for you. And if you need someone to vent off of, hey, I'm your sounding board. I'm here for you. But I'm not going to get into that negative place with you. I'm not going to get into that grumpy place with you. I'm not going to fight with you on that. I'm just going to be here. I will hold the space for you. And I'm not going to let his grumpiness dampen my day, right? So when you think about your relationships, are you bringing joy to it? Are you holding that safe ground? Those are great opportunities for self-discipline. So we talked about the morning routine. We talked about energy management. We talked about evening routine, and we talked about relationships. Which one would you like to work on self-discipline the most in your life right now? Mike, which of those four would you like to work on?
I would say the night routine. Night routine. I'm still trying to get to bed early. I'm actually doing a lot better. This is amazing. I mean, listening to you talk about self discipline and its choice, the power of your choice is so incredible. And I was kind of thinking as you were talking about how when you're really in your purpose and you're really living what you know you're supposed to be doing, or you're living your why, or you're going towards something, it seems like it's a lot easier to be disciplined and do the things that you don't want to do. I realize that the simple concept of the difference between successful people and unsuccessful people is that successful people are willing to do and be disciplined and do those things that the unsuccessful people are not willing to do. And like you said, you hit the nail right on the head. It's there's a there's no time and there's no certain promise of when it will happen. But when disciplined with consistency and persistency over any extended period of time, you will get results. And I love that part of what you were just saying about
Absolutely.
that.
Absolutely. I want to take a step back, because I had you write two columns and you're probably thinking like, why did she have me write two columns? Let's take a step back and examine for a moment how much of a reactor or a creator you are. So here's what a reactor will say. A reactor will hit the snooze button multiple times in the morning when the alarm goes off. The creator hits the alarm and hits the floor, gets up and moves, right? So are you a reactor creator? First thing in the morning, right there. A reactor will say, I don't have time. Do you have any idea how busy I am? Okay. Where a creator will say, I have all the time I need to accomplish my most important tasks today. And why is that so important? We have in our brain what's called the reticular activating system. You may have heard it as the RAS. And the reticular activating system is the part of the brain that when you tell it something, and especially when you tell it over and over and over again, and it sits in your subconscious, your brain looks for the evidence that that is true. So when you say, I don't have time, your brain's going to go look for that evidence to support that statement. And that's why you continuously feel, oh, I just don't have time for anything else. But when you say, I have all the time I need to accomplish my most important tasks today, what will your brain look for? Imagine what that will do to change your day. Just that one thing alone, if you can do that as your self-discipline activity, the results will be amazing. And that has like changed my productivity massively, 30 to 50% increase in doing that. I have to is what a reactor will say. And a creator says, I get to. Look at me doing this. Look at me attracting more money towards me. Look at me getting new clients. Look at me being the best mom I can be. Look at me being the best friend to everybody that I meet. Look at me bringing joy into people's lives. I get to do this. Because self-discipline, discipline really feels like it comes in when we have to do the mundane things, right? So when we can get through that, mundane, find some joy in it, create some fun, make a game out of it. When we get into play, we don't think about time and we don't think about dread. We just go and we play and we get it done, right? So when we use that language of I get to versus I have to, we can create so much more. A reactor, someone's going to say, I can't say no. They feel like they have to say yes to everything. React, 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 right? Whereas a creator will say, no is a complete sentence. It empowers me to protect my energy and my bandwidth. I love saying no when I get to set those boundaries because it's not in alignment with what I'm trying to accomplish. Very, very powerful. A reactor will say, I don't have enough, and they'll fill in the blank. I don't have enough tech skills. I don't have enough clients. I don't have enough money. I don't have enough time, whatever it happens to be. Whereas a creator, can you guess? I am resourceful. Everything is figure outable. I will find a way. And then the brain goes looking for that, right? You tell the brain, we've got it. We're going to find a way to make this happen. The brain goes, well, what about this? And you're thinking, why didn't I think of that before? Because we didn't tap into that reticular activating system. Use that as a tool for yourself. Reactor will say, I have too much to do, right? They're thinking they're busy all the time. And the creator says, I choose my top 3 tasks for the day. And I also aim to be done by 1. That means I get my 3 most important tasks done by 1 o'clock. I made an exception for today since the event happened at 3 o'clock. So here we are. We got to make exceptions once in a while, right? And a reactor will say, I am too busy, right? A creator will say, I set my priorities with intention and purpose. We are designing the day that we want to live. We do that with intention and purpose. Reactor will say, all I do is put out one fire after another. They're feeling so swamped and overwhelmed. Whereas a creator will say, I clearly see the outcome I desire and I work on the needle movers. What's a needle mover for you? Create that, make it happen. A reactor will say, I can't do it all. Do you feel that way? I've certainly had my days because I am just as human as anybody else. What does the creator say? I can do one thing today that will make a difference. And sometimes when you're feeling so stuck, what is one thing I can do in the next 30 minutes that will move me forward? And just that one win right there will create another domino that I want to go push over, and another domino that I want to push over. And now I'm making an amazing day for myself. And last but not least, a reactor will say, I'm so tired. And what does the creator say? I never get tired. I persevere. And not that they're trying to lie to themselves, but they're re-energizing themselves. Brendan Burchard, who's one of my favorite mentors, says a power plant doesn't make, or a power plant, I forget what it is, but a power plant generates energy. So we don't just have, it's not like we wake up in the morning, we have this bank of energy and that's all we get for that day. No, we get to reboost ourselves, whether it's with fuel from water, getting fresh air, physical movement, the right foods, those things. We can regenerate that energy. So energize yourself, create the day that you want. It takes self-discipline to make all of these things happen. And you're not going to get there until you first know yourself and you love yourself. Now, let me ask you this. Why is self-discipline so difficult? Because discipline comes from our habits. Our habits come from repetition of behavior. And if we are not mindful about that repetitive behavior, we can find ourselves in bad habits, or we might find ourselves in good habits. And actually, I really don't like to look at good and bad habits. The way I coach and the way I teach is what habits are serving you and pulling you towards those goals and dreams. They're getting you out of bed in the morning. They're energizing you. They're letting you take the actions to move the needle and keep pushing forward. And what are the habits that are holding you back? They're putting you in procrastination. They're putting you in reactor. They're putting you in negative self-talk. They're putting you in staying up too late and not getting to bed on time because we're not doing the evening routine. They're putting you in places of excuses. And what we need to do is, first of all, become aware of what are the habits that we are exhibiting in our life. If you can take your day and track yourself hour by hour by hour. There's one coach that I work with where she has the sheet where what's the intention? It's in a time slot. And then there's another column. Did you do it? Yes or no? And if no, why not? And so being observant of that day, did you do everything you intended to do? If not, why not? Maybe it was a habit like, oh, because at 2 o'clock, my caffeine is already worn off. So now I'm really, really tired. And all I want to do is just sit here and just take a little cat nap. And then you're not doing the needle moving activities. So something like that helps you become self-aware. And when we do that, we can look at those habits. And this is really what I want to challenge you to do for the homework tonight is list out as many habits as you possibly can that you do. Or, tomorrow, make it a point. Set the intention that you're going to observe yourself throughout the day. What did you do with your time? And nobody's judging you here. Nobody's judging you. This is just an observing activity. And when you write out everything that you do, whether it's a lunch break, whether you got on your phone and went down the rabbit hole on social media or chatting away with somebody, whatever it happens to be, that's okay. And then when you look at your day, what's a habit and which habits served you and helped you to be productive and which habits were holding you back? And the habits that were serving you, star those and celebrate that. Oh, look at these good habits I have in place. Because that's awesome. You're already awesome. I know that because you wouldn't be here otherwise. But then let's get real about what habits are holding you back. And let's look at where were you procrastinating or choosing not to do something or filling a space with an excuse. And again, that's okay. You're a human being. We all do this. So when you look at those things, which ones are maybe habits? You're like, oh, this is something that I do on a repeated basis, and I really don't want to do it anymore. And then when you look at that, we're just going to acknowledge that it's there. Okay, I see that's happening. It's something that I don't want to do. Then how can you reframe that? How can you reframe that habit that's holding you back with positive self-talk? Well, now that I'm aware of this habit, I choose to do this instead the next time that habit starts to creep in or I feel the sense to do that. If I find myself picking up my phone and I'm starting to go into a video game, mobile game there, I'm going to choose to say to myself, is this the best use of my time right now? And asking myself that self-discipline question allows me to put my phone aside and no, it's not. I'd rather be here instead to be more productive. So looking at those habits. And then we need to, choose what we will do and then do that instead. So I want you to observe tomorrow, your day. What are you doing throughout the day? Just write it out. This is just for you. Like I said, no judgment. You don't even have my permission to judge yourself. You got that, Mike? No judging yourself. We're just observing. And at the end of the day, I want you to look at, what are the habits that are serving me? Celebrate them. And then look at it. Find one habit that you want to change because we all have room for improvement, right? Myself included, folks. You're not alone here. So taking a look at that. And if you're brave enough, drop it into the Livemasters group when you're talking about your homework. Here's a habit I discovered or I just acknowledge it's not serving me. I want to change it. Here's what I'm going to choose to do. I'm going to reframe my self-talk because if we don't change the mindset, we can't really change the action. The action's automatic. So we change the mindset. And when we change that mindset, we activate the reticular activating system. And now the brain's going to look for that evidence. Like, I am going to use my time wisely. The brain's like, oh, well, how are we going to do that? And it will support you in doing that. Does that make sense? Who's going to do this homework? Drop me a 1 if you're going to do the homework. Who's committed?
I'm doing this homework. I'm doing this homework. I'm already thinking about the homework and how I'm going to do it. Of course, I'm going to do it on video. I encourage people to do it on video, but like Lee said, if you're not comfortable or confident doing it on video, I'm going to throw this out there. Just do the homework anyway. Write it and post it in the group. You don't have to do this homework on video. I think this is so important for everybody to really do this homework and be conscious and aware of their daily habits. It's very powerful, and I'm excited to do it on video. So I'm going to do mine on video, but I want to encourage people that might be watching this that are in the group, or maybe they're on my page or whatever, to actually embrace this homework and do it. Even if you don't do it on video, just make a post, or if you don't even want to make the post, just do it for yourself, because I think being aware of your daily habits is huge. I am a creature of habit. I literally wake up at the same time. I eat the same time. I get in a thing where there's certain foods that I'll eat every day for days on end. And I literally will go to the bathroom at the same time every day. My body just gets used to this cycle, these habits. And it's very powerful. So I'm excited to do the homework. So if anybody wants to see my video, it'll be up. I'll be doing it tomorrow in the morning before the call.
So let me just wrap it back up to what I said in the beginning. What does self-love have to do with self-discipline? The secret to self-discipline comes from knowing ourselves. And we get to know ourselves when we first choose to love ourselves. We are perfectly imperfect human beings. There's always room for improvement. And there are many times when we're not feeling motivated or tempted to fall off the wagon. And when we do that, it's an opportunity to flex that self-discipline muscle. So what are some areas where you can do that? Your morning routine, your energy management, your evening routine, your relationships, and I'm sure you can think of some other areas. And so I want to challenge you to look at the habits that are mediating your discipline. And are you a reactor or a creator? How do you want to see yourself? And then look at how we frame the self-talk, we frame the self-love, we look at our habits, identify where we need to change, because it's not enough to say, I'm no longer going to do that. That's just not how it works. When you acknowledge it, reframe it, and then choose that action instead of, replace it with the positive action, that change in that action, that's where self-discipline begins to work. Then you got to do it consistently, because the brain wants to stay in its comfort zone, like, but this is what we've always done. And you're like, nope, what we've always done doesn't serve me. I want to deny the lesser and gain the greater. I want to gain my greater best self. It takes self-discipline to do it, but you know what? You have the gifts, the genius, and the greatness inside of you to make it happen. Be the creator that you're meant to be. Do the homework, wake up tomorrow feeling amazing, and make it happen. Thank you so much. If you want to follow me elsewhere, you can find me at upcyclecoaching.com. And if you want to, I want to give everybody here who shows up the opportunity to spend some time with me, and we can dive deeper into either my candy method or discipline. If you want some guidance with the self-discipline, then please, I want to extend to you a complimentary 30-minute clarity session, and we can discuss that. So I want to extend that to everybody here, Mike.
Wow, you guys.
Yeah.
Wow. That's all I got to say is wow. You guys better jump on that. I'm just going to let you know. That's incredible. Lee, thank you so much for coming in and spending this time with us. I mean, you've spent almost 40 minutes on this call with us, and you just threw out 30 minutes to anybody that's watching this. I mean, that's incredible. I tell people that on this challenge right now, we literally have world-class speakers. Like, that was truly amazing. I will put you on any stage next to anybody in the world, Lee. That was truly amazing. If you guys saw what I saw and you guys learned some of the things that I learned, some amazing takeaways, make sure you show some love to Lee right now in the comments, please, and show her how much you respect her and how amazing she was. You were truly incredible. Absolutely. Blown away.
Well, your audience is incredible. It's because of your audience and the people that you attract into the community here that makes what I do so easy, because this is genuinely what I love doing.
Yeah, well, they all appreciate you. And listen, like Leah just mentioned, thank you, everybody. that's tuned into this live video. Again, I leave all the challenges open until they end. So this is day 3. Tomorrow, day 4, we're going to have Annie Callis from Australia, and she's going to be talking about selfish. It's going to be truly incredible. She's another world-class speaker that we're going to have, and I guarantee you, you do not want to miss Annie tomorrow, because it's going to be just as amazing as what you just saw today. And I look forward to your videos. I look forward to your homework. And if you have any questions about what we're doing here, our community Livemasters, how to get involved, please reach out to me and let me know. And again, Lee, thank you so much. You're truly incredible. Amazing. All right. Again, all right. Everybody stay safe and healthy. God bless each and every one of you. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Good night, everybody.